Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Fantasy Football Post. I'm Sid Rosenberg for OpenSports.com and the National Football Post. Time to get you set for week number 4 of the NFL. Let's welcome in our good buddy Joe Fortenbaugh, fantasy expert at NFPost.com. How are you, Joe?
Doing very well, Sid. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Very excited about this next NFL weekend. Let's tackle the injury report first, Joe. LaDainian Tomlinson was back at practice Wednesday, so it looks like he'll likely play in Pittsburgh. But what are you hearing about Detroit's Kevin Smith and Ahmad Bradshaw of the football Giants?
Well, Kevin Smith suffered a shoulder injury in Week 3 in the win over the Redskins. Head coach Jim Schwartz has been very secretive about that this week, only going so far yesterday as to say that he would be a game-time decision. Right now, owners want to monitor this situation very closely. It's the type of start that you're going to make, if you make it, come Sunday morning. So stay on top of that one right now. Ahmad Bradshaw was out of practice yesterday. He was wearing a boot on his ankle and foot as he was limping around the practice field. Head coach Tom Coughlin was optimistic, saying that he expected Bradshaw to play this weekend against the Chiefs. His reps may drop a bit, but as of now, we are expecting him to play.
All right, 3 more here in Seattle. Will it be Matt Hasselbeck or Seneca Wallace this weekend?
Look for Seneca Wallace to take on the Colts at Indianapolis. Hasselbeck suffered the fractured rib, didn't practice yesterday. Head coach Jim Moore did not sound very optimistic about him playing this weekend. It looks like it's going to be Seneca Wallace.
All right, Joe, what about Wes Welker for the Patriots and Dwayne Bowe for Kansas City? Are those two back this week?
Well, Welker missed the last 2 games due to a knee injury. He was held to limited reps in practice on Wednesday. I know the Patriots would love to have him back in the lineup for this weekend's game at Baltimore, but I don't think we're going to know about it until come Sunday morning. So again, a situation you're going to have to monitor. He's been a late scratch 2 weeks in a row. So as far as Welker's concerned, you want to wait until the last minute before you throw him in there. There is a pretty good chance he should play. As far as Bowe's concerned, head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Todd Haley, doesn't like to rush guys back from the hamstring. He said it yesterday. It can be a very debilitating injury if it gets worsened. Bowe was held out of the game against Philadelphia. I don't know if we're going to see him in the lineup this weekend.
All right, Joe, let's look at some matchups and check out your big starts for the weekend. Topping the list, you have Jericho Cotchery from the New York Football Jets. They play the Saints, and Brandon Marshall of Denver going against the Cowboys.
Cotchery is a very good start this weekend against New Orleans. New Orleans is going to come out throwing the football as expected. They're probably going to be able to generate some movement on the Jets' defense, although the Jets' defense is going to play very well. But the Jets' offense is going to have to throw the football. Sanchez has loved Cotchery from day one. He's gone over 100 yards in his last 2 games, scored a touchdown recently. He's been putting up very good numbers. He's in the top 10 in targets in the NFL right now. Cotchery is a must-start this weekend at New Orleans. In addition, you want to take a look at some of the other running backs that are on the board. Sid, who was the other wide receiver you had just mentioned? I'm sorry.
Brandon Marshall for Denver going against the Cowboys.
Brandon Marshall. I'm sorry. I got the running backs on the brain right now. Brandon Marshall, good start this weekend. Came back into the lineup in Week 3. Finally got some more reps from head coach Josh McDaniels. Put up over 60 yards and a touchdown. Marshall is the guy you want to have in the lineup this weekend against the Cowboys.
We could talk running backs right here. I know the rookie out of Alabama, Coffey, in for the injured Frank Gore in San Francisco. That's a no-brainer. You're going to play him, but I'm surprised to see you like Darren McFadden of Oakland this week?
I do, very much so. The Houston defense is soft, and when I mean soft, they are real soft. Opposing offenses have been running the football down their throat from Week 1. The Jets got him in Week 1 with Thomas Jones on the ground. Leon Washington had a good game. Maurice Jones-Drew tore them up recently. This is a very good start for McFadden. Hopefully, quarterback Jamarcus Russell gets the passing game going a little bit so that they are able to keep the ball on the ground later. But this is a good week to start McFadden.
Dallas Cowboys, Marion Barber still banged up. Felix Jones is out. Tashard Choice, second year back out of Georgia Tech versus Denver. You like that. Then the Bengals defense, pretty self-explanatory since they're playing the lowly Cleveland Browns. Those two right there, right? The running back Choice in Dallas and the Bengals defense.
Correct. It looks like Choice is going to get a lot of reps this weekend. Felix Jones is most likely out. Marion Barber still nursing the quadriceps injury. Choice should get some touches, especially some goal line touches. Bengals defense must start this week. Cleveland's the worst offense in the league right now. Look for Cincy to have a very nice day.
All right, Joe, now let's see who you're benching. Larry Johnson, he hasn't done much of anything so far this year, so he's right in the pine. Then you're also sitting Ryan Grant and Fred Taylor off a big game against Atlanta. Finally, somebody gets the majority of the carries in New England, and now we have to bench him?
Yeah, well, the thing in New England is they love to use multiple backs, and they love to use different offenses that are designed around what those backs do best. And while Fred Taylor had a very nice week against Atlanta last Sunday, Owners can't get too excited and start throwing him in there every week. You never know who it's going to be. Remember, they have the Baltimore Ravens this weekend. This is a defense that has not allowed a 100-yard rusher since 2006. In addition, they are the #1 run defense in the league right now. They're going to look to take away Fred Taylor. They're also going to look to minimize the passing game. But when it comes to Brady and Randy Moss, very difficult to slow that down. Look for them to take Taylor away. Keep Taylor on the bench this weekend.
All right, Joey, wrap things up with fantasy pick'em time. I'll give you two guys. You tell everyone who's the better one to start. Ronnie Brown of the Dolphins versus the Bills. Pierre Thomas of the Saints versus the Jets.
I'd lean towards Ronnie Brown this weekend. Pierre Thomas should have a very nice outing, but he is playing the Jets. It's going to be tough to get yards. Look for it to be Ronnie Brown, especially with what Pierre Thomas did last week against Buffalo's defense.
Joseph Adai of the Colts versus Seattle, or Julius Jones of the Seahawks versus the Colts?
Got to go with Joseph Adai on this one. He will split carries with Donald Brown, but it's a soft Seattle defense. Jones and the Seahawks offense are going to have to throw late in the game. I like Joseph Adai.
Jason Campbell of the Redskins versus Tampa at quarterback, or Joe Flacco of Baltimore versus New England at quarterback?
It's a good matchup for Campbell this weekend against that Tampa secondary who has been lit up all season, but you can't sit Flacco in place of someone like Campbell. Flacco's going to have to throw against New England. I like Joe Flacco.
Charger wide receiver Vincent Jackson versus the Steelers, or Lavernius Coles, Bengal wide receiver, versus the Browns?
Always Vincent Jackson. Every week, get him in the lineup. He's one of the elite wide receivers in the league. He's one of the more underrated wide receivers in the league. Pittsburgh has a very good run defense. San Diego's going to have to throw the football. Look for them to target Vincent Jackson down the field.
All right, Joe, last one. Cannot let this one go. Brett Favre versus Green Bay, or Aaron Rodgers versus Minnesota? How about this one?
This is tough. This is real tough because I think Favre's going to have a nice outing. I'm still going to go with Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay loves to throw the football. They have a lot of weapons. I think Minnesota's going to try to keep it on the ground a little bit more, but that Minnesota front four is going to cause a lot of pressure for Rodgers. It's going to be a tough outing. I'm still going to go with him, though.
As always, Joe, not good. Great. Thank you so much for the great fantasy advice. Cannot wait to do it again next week. Enjoy the football, Joe.
Thank you very much, Sid.
You got it, pal. Remember, you can also follow Joe on Twitter at Joe Fortenbaugh for more great fantasy updates. For Joe Fortenbaugh, I'm Sid Rosenberg. Good luck, everybody. And as always, enjoy the football.